In this video, we are going to talk about how to find a greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor is also known as the GCF, greatest common factor. And that is because the GCF is the largest factor that divides two numbers. To find the GCF of two numbers, list the factors of each number, then find the largest number that the two numbers have in common. On example 1, it says find the GCF of 30 and 100. So you'll see here that we have listed out the factors of 30 and the factors of 100. So the factors are the numbers that multiply to 30, or the factors of 100 are the numbers that multiply to 100. So let's go through and see what numbers they have in common, because we want to find a common factor, so something that's the same. So let's see, they both have 1 as a factor. They both have 2. They both have 5. They both have 10. And it looks like those are the only numbers that they have in common. Now, when we're trying to find the greatest common factor, we want to find the largest, so the greatest. So when you're talking about GCF, the G is the most important part, the greatest common factor. So out of the numbers that we've highlighted, which one is the largest? 10. So 10 is our greatest common factor between 30 and 100. On example 2, it says find the GCF of the given terms. So our numbers are 12 and 18. I'm going to begin by listing the factors of 12. The numbers that multiply to 12 are 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. I'm going to do the same thing for the factors of 18. The factors of 18 are 1 times 18, 2 times 9, and 3 times 6. So looking at these numbers, let's figure out what numbers they have in common. So the numbers they have in common are 1, 2, 3, and 6. And again, now we want to know which of these is the greatest. So out of the common factors, which one is the largest? And our answer is 6. So here the GCF is 6. Excuse me. On example 3, we're going to do the same thing. The factors of 10 are 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. The factors of 35 are 1 times 35 and 5 times 7. What is the largest factor they have in common? 5. So 5 is our GCF, our greatest common factor. We are going to do the same exact process with examples 4 and 5. Now, don't freak out because there's variables there. It's going to be the same exact process, and I'll show you it with example 4. So on example 4, I want to list the factors of 28x cubed. Well, let's just start with the factors of 28. Numbers that multiply to 28 are 1 times 28, 2 times 14, 4 times 7, and that's it. X cubed. Remember, your exponent tells you how much of your base you have. So x raised to the third power means that I have x times x times x. Because again, these 3 x's will give me x to the third power. Let's do the same thing for 49x. The factors of 49x are 1 times 49 and 7 times 7. And then I just have 1x. So let's see. What is the greatest common number factor? The largest number that these two have in common is 7. So my GCF has 7 in it. How many x's do they have in common? Well, they each have at least one x. So my GCF is 7x. It can't be 7x squared or 7x cubed because this one only has one x. So whatever they have the same of, that's what your exponent's going to be. Here, we can circle 1 in each. I can't circle more than 1 because this one doesn't have more than 1. So here my exponent for x is a 1. So my greatest common factor of 28x cubed and 49x is 7x. Let's try example 5. So on example 5, my first factor is 30, x to the fourth, y squared. The factors of 30 are 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. X to the fourth means that I have 4 x's. Y squared means that I have 2 y's. My second factor is 45x squared, y squared. Excuse me. My factors of 45 are 1 times 45, 3 times 15, 5 times 9, and that's it. X squared means that I have x times x, and y squared means that I have y times y. So let's find the GCF here. First, start off with the numbers. What is the largest number they have in common? The largest number that they have in common is 15. How many x's do they have in common? Well, they have 2 x's in common, so it's going to be x squared. How many y's do they have in common? They have 2 y's in common, so that's going to be y squared. So the GCF is 15x squared, y squared.